Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Perfect. Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Perfect.
An intro so nice, I played it twice.
Cool.
Good evening, or good morning from Australia.
Yo, Joe.
It is very cold here today. So I'm wearing my long sleeve, but I've got my, where is it? This side. I got my Marauders pin. You can't really see it. Trust me, it's there. Alrighty, so we've got an exciting double feature happening today. Directly after this live event, we'll be jumping right over to Kelly's channel. I have hit and pinned a comment at the top. If I did it correctly, that'll jump us over to Kelly's channel after this one. We've got a lot of people in the chat already. We've got a very good friend of the channel, Ryan, using
Ryan.
his stickers. We can't quite see what the stickers are, but if you're a member, you get to get all sorts of cool stickers. We got Classified, Go Figures in the house, good friend Vincent, Woodman 29, Phil, you should be at work. What are you doing, mate? Thanks for jumping in. Gazz, how are you, Gazz? Hooded Cobra Commander 788, where we recently did the Cobra Convergence with. Josh Duty, if we haven't already mentioned Josh, here's Josh. And have I missed anyone? Magnificent Kaboom. He's been waiting for over 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just finished talking with him online last night.
Oh, yeah, he's very good. He does a lot of great cartoons and stuff for the Slaughterhouse. So big fan of Magnificent Kaboom. We also have Dale. Hello, everyone. It's honored to see you, Sergeant Slaughter. I really enjoyed the movie. It brings back good memories when I was growing up.
Right. Yeah. It was fun.
And we've got Hoodie saying, I went to the Fathom event, G.I. Joe movie in Augusta before Joe Fest. That's great. So we're going to hit this as a two-parter. And the reason why we're doing that is because it's called Past and Present. So we're going to talk about the past as far as G.I. Joe, the movie, is concerned, how things were when it was first coming out. And then, Raphael is also in the house, Cowbunga. And then we'll jump over to Kelly's and we'll talk about the future and what it was like to go and watch it at the cinema. So I've got a few questions already lined up. So I understand that some of these questions you might not have memories of, but just to the best of your ability, or make up a story if you like. I'm happy with that too.
That's one of my fortes.
Oh, perfect. Well, we're going to do great.
Wrestling stories.
Yeah. We can hear some G.I. Joe wrestling stories.
Right.
So the first question is, so G.I. Joe the movie was set to hit theaters in 1987 before the release of the Transformers cartoon movie. Due to poor box office numbers of that Transformers movie, it was decided to make G.I. Joe the movie a home video release instead. So how did that feel, going from thinking that you had a movie coming out that was going to hit theaters to it then going straight to, well, it wouldn't be DVD, but straight to VHS and TV?
Right. Well, we had set up a lot of theaters that we were going to visit and do surprise visits, and then some that we were going to be announced at. And it was all set up. And as you said, the Transformers kind of took us away from that because of their ratings. So I think Hasbro and Sumbo and everybody involved got a little cold feet on that one because it was something new. You know, G.I. Joe, the movie with Sergeant Slaughter as a real character, was something nobody knew what was going to happen, what it was going to be like. So I just got the call. I did three theaters where I came out on the stage and introduced myself, and all the I guess the children. There was a lot of adults also, but a lot of the children. And what really surprised me was all the female fans that G.I. Joe has. I never realized that, how many female fans G.I. Joe has, not only young girls, but adult women like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, of course.
You know, women.
Well, who doesn't love a man in uniform?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
So who doesn't like a soldier, you know?
True.
So anyway, we did one in where we used to live up in Connecticut. And I came out and it was like bonkers. Kids were jumping and screaming, and I guess it was hard to realize that that was a real character. Sergeant Slaughter was a real character. Most everybody that ever knew Sergeant Slaughter knew that I was a wrestler. And
Right.
A lot of people think that G.I. Joe came first, but wrestling always came first. I started wrestling in 1972, was training in 72, started wrestling in 73. And so when we did the movie in 1987, and we did do some of the one that we did in Connecticut, it was like, you know, I was this big, huge star, and I had no idea why I was a big star. And it was just an incredible time. And I made a speech and did a couple of lines from the movies and
Oh, nice.
from the movie, and everybody got into it. And the only problem was just like when we went to watch it the other night with my grandson, Kelly and I and his friend, he reached over to me about a half hour into it and said, "Grandpa, are you really in this show? Are you really in this movie?" Because it takes me about a half hour to get my character into it. So
Oh, that's true. Yes.
and so that happened that night when, or that it was an afternoon matinee, and so people were kind of like into it, really into it, and then all of a sudden it kind of got a little quieter and quieter. Is he really in this movie or not?
Well, you're in the credits of it, so you know it wasn't like it was a surprise that you were going to be in there. But it does take a while for the action to hit the slaughterhouse. But when it does, it's probably one of I'll be biased anyway because I'm a big Sergeant Slaughter fan. But I think the best part of the movie is the stuff that happens at the slaughterhouse and the stuff that happens when the Renegades and Sarge infiltrate the Terrordrome. I just want to show a quick super chat from Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. It was awesome to see the Joe film in theaters. Thank you for making my childhood awesome, Sarge. Yeah, I can agree with that. You made my childhood awesome too, Sarge.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
What was good too, Zazel, was that I knew when my first appearance came into the movie, I knew my lines, and I was meeting Lieutenant Falcon for the first time, and I laid it on him. I mean, I was the Sarge at the best. I mean, he met the Renegades, but he hadn't met me yet. And when I made my appearance, it really showed the character, and everybody started screaming and hollering and jumping up and down, and it was a lot of fun.
There's a crackle when you're talking.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a microphone issue. Just so everyone in the chat knows, there's a storm that's rolling in over at Camp Slaughter, so the signal might not be too great, but visually you all look fine. There is a little bit of a crackle. It's not too bad. I can understand what you guys are saying, but yeah, there is a bit of a storm. I heard some thunder.
Did you hear it? That was a big one. I wonder if they heard that.
So there's a bit of a storm rolling in case anyone's wondering. So hopefully it all maintains for the rest of this show and into Kelly's show. So I've got another question to piggyback off of that one, which is, so the loss of a cinematic release opened up another opportunity. The movie was broken down into several episodes for television audiences and utilized live segments from itself to explain the action that came from what happened before and what will happen in the next episode. So what was that experience like, recording live action segments as the G.I. Joe, as you are over my shoulder here, this is one of them now, in character as the G.I. Joe Sergeant Slaughter?
Well, all those were done after the movie was cut up into different series. It was a 5-part series, and I really didn't, know where they were going to go into the show. I just read the lines that they asked me to read and go into character. So it was all new to me too when I saw them. I actually enjoyed the 5-day series almost better than I did the movie because of that. Because it was, explained like as the one I sent to you, the international G.I. Joe movie that was out. It was in parts, each, and you when you got done with the first part, it told you don't miss next week's or tomorrow's action, and however they do all that. And so then I would see myself. They didn't have that in the international movie. They didn't have me doing that. So as far as I know, they may have, but as far as the U.S. version and the G.I. Joe version, I did all those as you mentioned.
So I never saw, in Australia, I never saw a 5-part series on TV. We just had it on VHS. And I suppose Europe would have just had Action Force, the movie. And I suspect that Sergeant Slaughter wasn't doing the intros for those just because they were going by Sergeant Slammer. Except in the credits. In the credits of Action Force, the movie, you're still billed as Sergeant Slaughter, even though you're called Sergeant Slammer in the Action Force movie.
I saw that too. I'm sure anybody else caught that. I'm going to have Kelly talk a little bit more tonight because I have an abscess tooth. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
My cheek is swollen, and so I'm talking kind of out of the side of my mouth. But
I didn't notice.
I'll make it through.
So my cat is a kid. Sorry, I just wanted to respond to that one comment. Yes. He is very needy, and I don't know if it's the storm or not, but he's just a kitten. And so he wants to be running around, and I was afraid he was going to knock the iPad off. So that's why I'm holding him. I'm not trying to be like weird or anything. Like, oh gosh, his name just went out of my head, Dr. Evil or whatever from Austin Powers. The cat.
No, it's working. We've got a good question here from Hooded Cobra Commander 788, who launched the Cobra Convergence 6 this month. I think I've heard the voice actors recorded their parts separately. Is this true, or did the actors all get together?
Yes, we all did our lines in different little studios. I could see a lot of the actors, and there came a time when Burgess Meredith came in, and we all were introduced to each other, and he was a big Sergeant Slaughter wrestling fan, and he was so honored to be in the movie. But he and I never had any really lines together in the movie. He was always somewhere else, and I was fighting, Cobra and Nemesis Enforcer, and trying to keep all my G.I. Joes safe and the world safe. So Colobulus and I never really got many lines together. I don't know if we had any lines. I really have to watch the movie again. But he was a treat. He was a real treat, and he very seldom missed a line. I couldn't be with him in the same studio, but I was watching, and he just was a real pro. And then, of course, Don Johnson came in a couple of days later and met him, and same thing. They were a big fan of his also, and my wife, Diane, big fan of Don Johnson, who wasn't. And so it was a fun time. We, had our greets but we went right to work. We went into the studios and did our lines, and we were never in the same room together doing our lines or doing them together. We just did them separately, but we were in the same studio.
So Transformers famously had everybody in the TV show read their lines all together so they could sort of jump off each other's energy. For the TV series, was that similar to you guys, or did you record all your lines separately there too?
Yeah, all separately.
Even
I was always by myself. I never. I don't think I ever read a line with anybody. I always was in the studio, either in New York, L.A., in Boston, a bunch of different cities, and but I was never with anybody else. Just
right.
And after a while, they had my character, Sergeant Slaughter and G.I. Joe, screaming and hollering so much that and lines after line after line until they got what they thought they wanted, because they hadn't put the movement of the lips in yet. So they had to do so many different lines so that they could draw, or however they do that. The artists make the mouths and everything move to the line, your words. So we'd have to do a lot of, even though I did them perfectly, I'd still have to do them over and over and over. And by the end of the day, you're screaming at the top of your lungs.
Right.
And your throat is taking a beating, and your head is pounding because you're in a little cubicle about 5 by 5, and all you have is a headset on and a microphone in front of you and a script below you. That's all that is in there. So it's something that I never had done before, so it was something new. So I had to really learn I'm not a great reader. So I had to really, some words I had a hard time on. And a few of them I asked if they could change them, because I just couldn't pronounce them, the right.
Less syllables, yeah.
They just said, no, just keep saying, you'll get it. And so that was a little frustrating, but it got done. Because I was new at it, I didn't realize that there's no hurry. Just do them. Just keep doing them. And there's no hurry. We'll come back tomorrow if you need to do it. So
it's not like a live.
I kind of wish I would have known that the movie was going to be put into a 5-part series, because I would have got a different contract before I signed it. Because I would have got a lot more residuals.
All right.
Because every time it played, because it played over and over and over. But we did a lot of episodes before that we even did the movie. So a lot of our episodes that we did, I did basically in New York City. I'd get on a train and go into New York City, and they picked me up at the train station, take me to the studio, Sunbo's studio, and put me in a little room, and I'd stay there. Sometimes I'd only be there for an hour, and sometimes I'd be there for 5 or 6 hours. So it all depended on what was being done.
I just got a quick super chat here from Justin. Me and my wife watched the movie. She loved reaction to it. By the way, I'm Vincent Crashblight, one of Sarge's lesser-known renegades. I will say, Justin has a collection of Sergeant Slaughter action figures that rivals my own. He's got quite a bunch.
Wow, great. So you're Renegade number 2?
I think he would love that. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Mark Potter, Renegade 1. Justin says she loved my reaction to Sergeant Renegades. Yeah, great. I bet. Yeah, he's a big Sarge fan.
Good. As I said, the ladies seem to love G.I. Joe. I don't know if it's that soldier or if it's just me.
Right? It's that personality.
Love.
Yeah. I just from Woodman29, I just want to take a second and thank Sarge for taking time out of his day to continually come on and chat with us fans. Sir, you are a legend. True legend.
Thank you. That's capital letters.
Oh yeah, so it's got to be true.
As you were. No push-ups for you.
Josh asks if you would ever manage a new military wrestler based off of G.I. Joe.
Probably not. I don't want to tarnish anything that I created, and
unless it was your daughter.
Yeah, unless it's
there
my
you go.
daughter, of course. I've been, been kind of had some different calls and inquiries about Lacey Evans, who's a WWE superstar at the moment. But I basically think that she can do it on her own. She doesn't need me. I'm just going to take it away from her. I mean, if I went with her and she became the world champion, yeah, that would make me look really good. And and same with the Slaughter daughter. If she a little late now in her career, but you never know. She could always be a late comer and get into the business, but I don't think I'd want to push her toward that.
Break my back
at this time in her life. No, it's not for everybody. Everybody thinks it's a big glory, fun business, but it's tough. You're away from your family, your home, holidays, anniversaries, birthdays. It's just a rough business, and
there's no off season.
No off season. We're the only business that goes year round. There's football, baseball, hockey. They all win their trophies, and then they go play golf for a few months,
right?
And rest up and heal. But we don't do that.
You're still busy now, going to all the signings and events, so it's not like you haven't kept busy. We've got a question from Gazz, good friend of the channel and a channel member. It says, Sarge, have you seen the G.I. Joe series on the Renegades? And if so, your thoughts on the voice actor that voiced you? just a spoiler alert. I voiced Sergeant Slaughter in the G.I. Joe series, The Renegades. So if you could say something nice about it, even if you haven't seen it, that would really make my day.
I think the voice actor that did my Sergeant Slaughter voice is excellent.
Perfect.
Incredible. I don't know. I think he's up for an Academy Award. I'm not sure.
Oh. Yep, I got to agree with you. Yep. Yeah, good stuff. All right, I'll turn that into a little clip, and I'll pass that on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll vote for you. I have to vote. I have to vote.
Oh well.
Academy Awards, the movie and the actors.
Well, I appreciate your vote. I did send some lines for the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship, Sarge. I wanted to put you in as Super Cop.
Oh yeah.
So keep an eye out for those lines. Justin says, my wife is Army and she's a nurse now. I'm honored to be Sarge's Renegade number 2.
All right. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse Renegade 2.
Here we are, Ken from Toykennections. I am late, but hello from the Northern Marauder. Nice. That sounds cool.
Hey, Ken. Where you at? Where you been?
Yeah, what else you got going on
your
today?
Toys, huh?
So actually, Ken did a really good video for Iconicon recently. So everyone check that out.
Yes.
And then...
The one about Trigger?
Oh, yeah. No, not that one. That one's funny. That is a good, funny video. But
that was a good one. I like that one.
So next on to... That was a funny one. Alrighty. So then, it says here, next question, in the regular cartoon, your real name is in the list of voice actors for the credits, right? So in the credits of the regular cartoon, I think it's probably Bob Remus or Robert Remus in the TV cartoon. But in G.I. Joe, the movie, you're listed as Sergeant Slaughter as Sergeant Slaughter. Yes. Do you know the reason for this?
Stupidity. Somebody blew it. Somebody just didn't get it right,
Well, how are you listed as in SAG?
SAG, I'm Sergeant Slaughter, and I'm registered under Robert Remus, so that might be the reason it's that way. I
Right.
just don't think that there's any
The
reason.
Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
He's a member of, so I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with it.
I'm not sure exactly all the things about SAG and AFTRA and if you're supposed to use your real name or your character's name, but people like Kirk Douglas, is he going to put every character that he's played in a movie? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
So I guess they use his real name, Michael Douglas, or I'm Robert Remus and I play Sergeant Slaughter. Not too many other characters that I've played. I do Dr. Military in Teen Titans Go, and I have done a few other voiceovers for characters. I'm working on a movie at the present time called The Realtor, where I'm the Sarge. I'm actually the coach, but I act like the Sarge and I talk like the Sarge. But I'm an older gentleman that's out of wrestling and could be in professional wrestling in the United States because I was too mean and tough. And so I had to do all my wrestling overseas. But they have my character playing just like a Sergeant Slaughter, but using the name Coach. So
are you
that's
credited as Sergeant Slaughter in that, or are you?
I
Robert
don't
Remus?
know. I haven't seen it yet.
Is
I'm
it
sure
close
it'll
to
be
finishing
Sergeant
yet?
Slaughter playing, the coach.
Well, I do know as a kid, I wasn't paying any attention to. Before I get to this, actually, I'll read out here. I'm from the Slaughters Marauders Chilean chapter. Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Hey, Ted. If anyone does have questions to do with G.I. Joe the movie or anything in that timeline, definitely throw it in the chat, and I'll get to it if I can. I was just about to say that as a kid, I didn't pay attention to any of the voice actors' names in the credits. I would just enjoy the music at the end and the visuals. But it wasn't until the opening credits of G.I. Joe the movie where it says Sergeant Slaughter as Sergeant Slaughter that I started paying attention, because I then realized, because I knew G.I. Joe before wrestling, I then realized then that you were a real person. And yeah, that actually led me on to, thanks to a friend of mine, led me on to wrestling. And speaking of wrestling, Sergeant Slaughter, hey Sergeant Slaughter, how was being the WWF champion? You did awesome.
Oh, thank you. Well, it wasn't the character I wanted to be the world champion as, but it was Sergeant Slaughter. Just that WWE and Vince McMahon wanted someone to wrestle Hulk Hogan, and in order to take all the what I did before I left the WWF, before it became the WWE, and with all the G.I. Joe that I did, and to come back, I was handpicked by Hulk Hogan to be his opponent for WrestleMania 7. So that's why I came back and had to be the Iraqi sympathizer, because that's what Vince McMahon wanted and the WWF at that time wanted, because it was the opposite of what I left. I don't know if it was a reason to hurt Sergeant Slaughter's G.I. Joe. I guess I don't know what the word would be, but that's what they wanted to do, and I agreed to it. I was told to go talk to my family about it and make sure that they wanted me to do it, because it was going to be a little rough. But I did, give it a lot of thought, and I knew that it was going to hurt my G.I. Joe status and popularity.
Right.
And I know Hasbro wasn't going to be real happy about it. So they went in a different direction anyway. When I went my separate way with them, they went in a whole different. They kind of went to a dark side with all the G.I. Joes were wearing black outfits, and you couldn't tell kind of like wrestling today. You couldn't tell the good guys from the bad guys, the heroes from the villains. And but that's the way they wanted to go. And we opened up, we opened something that had never been done before, where you took a real life character, a person, put him into the G.I. Joe. So that will always be, etched in on my gravestone, I guess, that was the first living G.I. Joe character. Not the only one, but I was first.
It's a bit morbid to talk about your gravestone, but I get the symbolism behind it.
Yeah.
All right. So here's one from Phil from Treasures for Trigger, another great channel. Do check it out. Who is Sarge's favorite G.I. Joe apart from himself?
Gosh, I guess I'd have to say General Hawk, because he was a lot like the Sarge, and he agreed with the Sarge all the time. And the one reason that I actually, a lot of people want to know, did you really do all the voices for your character? And I say yes. I wanted to read the script. I wanted to make sure that Sergeant Slaughter's lines and his character was being done right. And of course, that was way before the Iraqi sympathizer thing. So I was real gung-ho, as they say. I wanted to make sure everybody understood, and anybody that watched G.I. Joe, or anybody that was with Hasbro or Sunbow, or anybody that was a part of it, that Sergeant Slaughter was a real person. He was a guy that believed in himself and his character. And I didn't want it to be tarnished by funny lines or goofy lines, stupid lines, So in order to do that, I made sure that I did my lines. I read every word. That's not the ones that are dubbed over for obvious reasons, for people in Asia and the UK and England and all over, where certain words were taken out and it was dubbed over. But other than that, I did every word that was ever written, because I wanted to read it. I wanted to know what was being said for my character.
So the voice actor who did the partial lines for Sergeant Slammer, it's obviously no Sergeant Slaughter. You can tell that he's doing his very best, but it is not an easy voice to mimic. I'll give you that.
Right.
So Justin's here saying, you gave me a good childhood. It was an honor meeting you in 2020. And Zazel, thanks for inviting me to talk to my childhood hero. Well, that's what we're here for. But it's not over yet. After this, we're going to jump over to Kelly's channel and talk even more.
Where's Justin from?
Justin, where are you from, buddy? He has told me this before, but I'm no good with locations. Geographically, I'm useless. Hello, Zazel, Sarge, Kelly. A new sub here from Iconicon. Oh, hello, Keith. Well, welcome. Thank you. Good to see you all, or Toyol. That's a good... good to see Toyol as a great introduction to yourself. Thank you. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. We will be jumping over to Kelly's channel in about half an hour to talk the future in G.I. Joe. We're just sort of sticking to this timeline at the moment. Gazz guessed that it was going to be Duke. It wasn't Duke, it was Hawk. The good thing about the Sarge and Hawk is that when Sarge jumps in and starts telling you all the Joes that they've got to get fighting fit, General Hawk has to fall in line too. And I think there's a mutual respect between the two of them because he's happy to do so. There's no resistance there. Yeah, welcome to the Slaughterhouse, guys.
I found that quite surprising that when I did those lines that I told General Hawk that, well, you're a Joe too, so you're going to start getting in shape too. Duke was never around me. I never saw Duke much. They didn't do many lines with Duke and I, if they did any. Duke was kind of away from me. I think they didn't want Duke around me too much.
So I have a feeling that if Kelly was there also and you tried to get her in line, I have a feeling she would resist. She'd resist more than General Hawk.
Always has. Always has. Yeah. She resisted when she was coming out of her mom.
Oh, well.
she wanted to be born on the 21st, not the 20th of April.
Right.
Because of, certain things that happen on April 20th.
Okay. Well, there's.
You know whose birthday is on April 20th? Besides Slaughter daughter?
I don't even know my kids' birthdays.
Adolf Hitler.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Hold off a day. Hold off a day.
Well, let's go to the next question.
I did not imagine. I've actually seen a picture similar to the Captain America where he's punching Adolf Hitler, but it's drawn with Sergeant Slaughter. I think he's punching the Iron Sheik, but I think it would have been a quick war if Sergeant Slaughter was in there. I don't want to talk too much about real world wars. That's it feels a bit icky for me. But all right, so it says here another question I've been given is: you've had many rivals over the years, including the Iron Sheik, the Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan. But what's it like when fans ask you about the rivalry between you and the fictional cartoon character Nemesis Enforcer?
You know, everybody loves that, especially when I repeat the line to them on Twitter or on social media, and I do it line, word for word, and they just go crazy over that I would give them that line. I always have fun, with the social media and tweets and the Twitter. I have fun with it, and I think it's kind of a cool thing that I can repeat those lines, and I can't do every one of them, but there's certain ones that everybody likes, especially there's when I came across Falcon for the first time, and I said, there's only two ways out of my command: on your feet like a man, or in a ditty bag. A itty bitty ditty bag. Got it? Yeah, because he just told me he didn't want any chicken sweat that day, so I let him have it. And I made him run all the way back to the Slaughterhouse.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you mess with the Sarge.
Yeah. Well, the Renegades already knew that they were running, but Lieutenant Falcon didn't know he had to go for a nice run.
So there is, wrong one. Duke and Sarge have an exchange via video chat talking about Falcon, because Falcon is the half brother of Duke. And during the scene, during the Slaughterhouse, Duke and Sarge are talking about the progress of Lieutenant Falcon. So there is that exchange. Everyone loves the ditty bag line.
Right. It says,
Sarge is probably the only man who can say itty bitty ditty bag and make it sound badass. Yeah.
Well, a ditty bag is what military people use, especially Marines, use for their cosmetics. Their shaving kits, basically.
Right.
A lot of people think it's the duffel bag, but that's not a ditty bag. A ditty bag is something you put in that duffel bag, and it's just a small, like you would have in
your toiletries.
Yeah, toiletries. Yeah.
I always wondered what that was. Now I know.
Now you know, and always half the battle.
We could do a whole half hour now of just quoting G.I. Joe, and I'd be super happy.
Yeah.
So Ken asks, who was more fun to punch, Monkey Wrench or the Iron Sheik?
Oh, Monkey Wrench by all. Yeah, that's where I first entered into G.I. Joe, and I came off my Triple T tank and gave him a big right hand punch and started in on the bats, and destroyed all the bats and made my debut into G.I. Joe. There was a line, I don't know it by heart, but I think it was someone yelled out, "The Joes are in trouble." And I think General Hawk said, "No, the Cobras are in trouble. That's Joe's Sergeant Slaughter." And here I come with the Triple T tank, and that's when I gave Monkey Wrench that big right hand punch and proceeded to destroy all the bats. And when I got done, I believe I had a line to General Hawk of sorry to come in uninvited or interrupted or whatever. I can't remember it, but and it made me like that. That made Sergeant Slaughter the toughest Joe ever.
So
I saved him.
Yeah, you come in and save the day, and then you train them to be tougher Joes, which I always thought was pretty cool. Like they're already, pretty military tough, but you come in to make them even more so. So you're thinking of the Triple T commercial. So the commercial for the Triple T leads in with the line that the Cobras are in trouble, and then the you punching Monkey Wrench happens in the introduction to the cartoons. So you get to punch Monkey Wrench every time the cartoon opens.
Yeah.
And then fighting the batch was in Arise Serpento Arise Part 1. But Kelly sent me a picture of Sergeant Slaughter punching Monkey Wrench in the face, saying that you thought that it looked like me. And then at first I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I thought, I wonder if he means that he wants to punch me in the face.
Yeah. I hope that someday we get to meet and I can
punch you in the face.
I'll hold him back. I'll hold him down for you.
I'll take a punch to the face from Sergeant Slaughter. I don't know if I'll live to tell the
tale. I'll
tale.
give you one of them working punches.
Oh, okay. That'll be enough to give me a blood nose.
I did enjoy punching the Iron Sheik many times too. But it's a toss-up. It's really a toss-up because I enjoy punching him too.
So Justin says, scale. Thanks for the super chat again. Thank you, Justin. Scale 1 to 10. How tough is the Iron Sheik?
Tough. He's an 11. The thing about the Iron Sheik was no matter how many times we wrestled and fought in all types of matches, cage matches, boot camp matches, every time you'd knock him down and think that was it, you'd turn around and there he was, want some more. And that was kind of the way I was too. He did the same thing to me, and so we just battled in the United States and the world. Got to witness some pretty rough, tough
Something
matches.
went wrong. Please try again.
So it was. The cat's talking now.
My phone just all of a sudden
It's a
Siri
miracle.
wanted to talk.
Miracle. The cat's talking. So it was. We really did well around the world. We as they say, we sold them out everywhere, and there was standing room only whenever we had a match. People wanted to see that because neither one of us gave an inch, and we pounded each other night after night after night. And I just ran into him about 3 weeks ago. I was down in Atlanta doing a show there, and one of the fellows that assists me when I'm doing autograph sessions and Comic-Cons and those types of shows knows him pretty well. So he went by his house to say hello. He doesn't go out of his house much. He has a hard time getting around. But so he wanted to know if I'd want to stop by and say hello. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. So we went there, and I kind of stayed my distance, but it was a good visit. It wasn't like we were going to beat each other up, but it was good to see that he's still doing okay. He's getting better. I wish he would go out and do some appearances. I'd love to get a table where he and I could be next to each other.
That would be cool.
Have where people can meet us both at the same time, take a picture with both of us, like a photo op.
Oh, sneak peek.
If I kick him out of the room, he scratches at the door.
No, it's fine. Keep the kitty in.
Sorry, guys. You gotta deal with the glimpse of my cat, my kitten.
He likes me before when I'm there. He's all over me.
Yeah, he's a really friendly guy, and he's very mischievous. He's very much a cat.
Right.
And so his name fits him very well, which is Loki. Is his
Oh
name.
right, yes, of course.
It's Maggot
But
after the night.
well,
The second
I
best
keep
name.
asking my son if we can change his name, and my son's like, "Well, what do you want to change it to?" I'm like, "Demon,
Yeah.
the devil, Satan." Like,
Yeah.
Son is like, he's really sweet, but then he's not.
So Ken's saying here, Joe Fest 2023 Slaughterhouse meetup. Meet at the Hooded Cobra Commander's booth. I'm going to do my very best to get to Joe Fest next year. My very best.
Hopefully, I'll be there next year. I'm doing one in Atlanta in November, so that'll be the next one that I do, the Joe Fest in Atlanta in November. But I definitely want to be at the Augusta because that's where we got it all started. And I remember seeing it on social media that they had this first G.I. Joe fest and in Augusta, Georgia, and I immediately sent a message to them saying, "How can you have a Joe Fest without Sergeant Slaughter?" And I got a message immediately right back, "We want you to be at the next one." And so I did the next three, and as we've talked, this year's got kind of messed up because they didn't give me the date in time. They had the date, but they didn't tell me. I guess they just thought I was automatically coming, but it all worked out. So, by the way,
You'll be there next year,
Bobby
right?
Vala did very well. Beliver's.
Oh yes.
Well, I sent a lot of autographed Action Force Sergeant Slaughters to him, and he was there, and he said he just did tremendous. And Action Force is really making a mark for itself, and sounds like they're going to continue to grow and grow.
Justin's offered me a couch to sleep on if I go over there. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I'll wear a Slaughtered Daughter shirt, and Kelly, you can wear that awesome shirt that you're wearing now.
Yes.
Where'd you get that from? Is that?
So my dad gave me this. Dad, where'd you get this shirt?
I got it online. I was just looking online one day and trying to find some Sergeant Slaughter shirts like I'm wearing. And can you see the bottom of it?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Anyway, I saw that and I said, "Oh, I wonder if Zazel knows that those are out, or if he's getting any money out of them." So I said, "I'll order each of us one." So I did. And I have one, and if you'd like one, I'll get one to you.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
I would think that they would have given you one by now if they're making money off of you.
Right. Let me tell you, I make absolutely no money off of those shirts.
Well, you should.
The way that
it might be selling a lot more.
So you can get them on Teespring or TeePublic or something like that. I think on a T-shirt, the the margin on a T-shirt like that is $2.
Right.
So I don't know how much you paid for the shirt, but if anything, I get about $2 for it.
All right. Well, I'll send you an extra quarter. I'll send you a quarter.
Thanks. Well, it looks great. I don't have one, but it's nice to see it. How is it, Kelly? You like it?
I do. I like it.
They come in all different colors, but I thought white was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the Sarge being in the black sequin.
I'd like it to be a little longer.
Yeah.
I think I need a bigger size.
Yeah.
Well, all those muscles are ripping through. Yeah.
Well, that's what the bodybuilders do. They, like our friend Matty. He said,
Wayne Matty.
Yeah, send me a T-shirt, would you, Sarge? What size are you? Like a 4X? It goes, no, large, maybe an extra large. I said, what?
I don't believe
you
it.
want it tight to show off your muscles.
We put them on, and then we always have to cut them off. He said,
take
a shower. When we take a shower,
like
that's how we get them off. Because they want every ounce of that hard work that they put into their bodies to show.
Oh, he's a big man in person. I saw him wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
And he is way up here. And so there's a photo. I've got my son on one side, and I've got Wayne on the other side, and I'm like looking up at these two.
Good boy.
It was a fun day.
Wishing nothing but success.
Oh yeah, he's going places for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Wayne Matty. Wayne, if you're watching, I'm a big fan, mate. So Victorian Sword, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, I'm here thanks to Iconicon and your great panels and contributions to the G.I. Joe Berg video. Sarge seems like a great guy. Well, I think he seems like a great guy too. I've never heard a negative thing about anyone meeting you, Sarge.
Well, I appreciate that. I try not to have any negativity, but there are people that still have a grudge about my Iraqi sympathizer character. But
well, that just means you did a job well done.
Yeah, it meant I did my job right, and I was paid to be an Iraqi sympathizer, and that's what I did. So
you did it very well.
And I was other characters before I was Sergeant Slaughter. So that's the way that our business is. I couldn't imagine. You see somebody on our WWE show for about a month, and then they're gone because they didn't fit. They gave them a character, and they just couldn't perform it. So they leave, go back to training camp or wherever, and they come back in another character. So until they get one that fits the person, unless they wrestle as themselves, of course, everything else is owned by WWE.
Right.
Because of my attorney and I, of course.
I was just about to say,
we won't get into that.
I couldn't imagine beautiful Bobby Remus as a G.I. Joe. So wow. Could you imagine?
I think you'd have to be a Cobra.
I think they missed an opportunity to make Iraqi Sarge part of Cobra. Maybe some sort of mind control. It's very, very difficult to mind control Sergeant Slaughter, I imagine. But if you could have had anyone from wrestling join you as a Cobra to fight against, who do you think you would have picked to be your nemesis?
Well, at one time, there was a wrestler by the name of Leon White, and he was, what was his character's name? Anyway, he wrestled in Japan just about all of his career, other than his last few years. And he had a character that they built a helmet and this thing that weighed like 100 pounds, and they put it on top of his head, and it was a remote control, and it had smoke coming out of it and lights and flash, and he was just a big old ex-football player that pounded and didn't take any prisoners. I mean, he was a rough, tough guy, and I saw him, and I said, would that be a great guy to put into the Cobra, and he and I could actually wrestle live around the world, And so I mentioned it to him, and he brought all the people over from Japan. We had a big meeting at Hasbro's up in Pawtucket, New York, or Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and they just wanted too much money, and so it just kind of squashed. But it would have been fun. Yeah, it would have been.
Well, Roddy Piper eventually got his own G.I. Joe action figure for the Iron Grenadiers. So that might be
he did an appearance over there, and they made a character of him only for that. That he was the drill instructor of Cobra, and we were always that he and I would be able to do some things in the ring, but we really didn't want to. Would have been fun to do, voiceovers and things like that, but we really didn't. We loved each other so much that we didn't want to really beat each other up.
Oh, that's nice.
It would have been too difficult to really, go after somebody you really love, and have matches like he and I would have. So we just decided not to do it. And of course, unfortunately, he passed before we even got that far. But he and I were going to do some shows together, like a comedy show. He was doing one.
All right.
I gave him some ideas about adding on to it, and we talked to some producers in LA a couple of times, and we had a show pretty much all ready to go, but we ended up again, he passed, and
Right.
little maggot, and so you have to change his name to Maggot. But Roddy was a very intelligent man, and he could play almost every instrument. When we would go to events and stay at a hotel, we'd always look for a room that had a piano or something like that. He always had his harmonica with him, but he could play a piano like Liberace. I mean, he was.
Yeah, right.
Good. I don't know if that's a good comparison, but like Jerry Lee Lewis, maybe not quite that good, but yeah, Roddy was extremely intelligent and talented, not only in the ring but outside the ring, and especially on the microphone. We had this idea of doing a show where we would start out doing, introducing ourselves and talking about each other, and then we would switch to sitting at a bar and tell stories about what happened at bars, in our business, and then we would switch over to a car seat, and we would, like we were driving down the road, and we tell stories about what happened on the road in cars and things like that. And
that would have been cool.
We were going to end up in airplane seats and tell the stories about all the things that happen on airplanes with our colleagues, if you want to call them that. And the producers loved it, and they actually said, well, let's try it out. Let's do maybe a couple, maybe a year of it, and then we'll hit Broadway. Maybe Broadway will want to do something like that, where we could get really elaborate and have, an actual, not a actual plane, but a plane comes on board and on the stage, and he and I get out of it, and we start telling stories about, but they had all kinds of ideas, and they really liked the idea of us doing that. So
yeah, that would have been great. The two of you together. I've seen some promos of you guys together in I think it was AWA, where I saw some of those where you guys were sort of together. They're not wrestling.
I've only wrestled Roddy one time that I remember, and that was enough. We both looked at each other afterwards, and we said, let's not do that again. And I said, no, let's not. It's just too hard to wrestle each other and be friends.
It's nice that you guys, being such great friends, were able to both be in G.I. Joe in some capacity together. I think that's a nice thing that could have happened. So we've got
the thing about the wrestling was that we were always on the same side until I did my switch over to the Iron Sheik in 1983, 84, and then I became the hero, and Roddy, of course, stayed the villain. So he had his own little talk show, Piper's Pit, and I appeared on that.
Yes,
like that. We would do
that. Was a great promo episode of Piper's Pit, where I think you tear off your shirt.
Right.
Yeah, he gets you a bit riled up, and then you sort of calm down a little after he starts hitting some points. Yeah. So Ken's dropped the link. I should also have the link pinned comment. So we're about to finish up here. Before you do leave here, do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be super appreciated. But good morning to whoever this Facebook user is. Thank you for watching. But yeah, we'll be jumping over onto Kelly's channel to talk about their experience going to watch G.I. Joe the movie, finally in theaters, which happened just recently. So guys, jump over to Kelly's channel. It's Wayne.
Oh,
g'day, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Hi.
How you doing?
We were just talking about you.
Sorry I haven't gotten back to you on your latest email, but you know that we're both so darn busy. But appreciate any time I get a message from you. I'm glad to hear you're doing so well. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to see you when you're over here in the States, in LA.
But we'll try.
We'll try.
Well, the conversation's not over yet, Wayne. If you hang about, we're about to take a quick break, and then we will be jumping on to the Slaughter Daughter official channel. Link is in the description, but if you're watching it from Facebook, it'll just pop up there automatically. But yeah, everybody will be back in about 15 minutes on the Slaughter Daughter channel. Hope to see everybody over there soon, and we'll be talking more G.I. Joe the movie, past versus present. We're going to the present, well, I guess the most recent past, if you really think about it, where they got to go and check it out in the movies for the first time. Well, for the first time.
Be like Wayne and rise and shine. Get out of that rack and come join us.
Yep, so that's from Wayne as well. Says, it's all good, Sarge. You all look great. Yeah, here it will be hard. Derek says, 101st Airborne Division says hello.
All right. All right.
Everyone on Facebook, you have to give StreamYard permission to use your name. There should be a link there. It's all good, Sarge. You all look great. Yeah, we all do look great, don't we? Don't we all look great? Don't we all look great? All righty, guys, we'll end the broadcast here. We'll see you in about 15 minutes. The storm seems to have held out all right, and I'm confident we'll be back and in greater numbers.
Yeah.
So we'll see you soon.
You're dismissed.
Bye.
Until then.